I've given the transmitter a boost. The reception should be improved.
Patch me through, Nana.
You've got it. You're connected. Go ahead, X.
Colonel Reddips, do you read?
X, are you all right?
Yes, sir. And I'm not alone. We're building an anti-rebellion force.
Perfect. We have good news on this side as well. We've picked up a signal at point A6 on Giga City.
Zero? Zero's alive?
We've made military contact with Zero at point A6.
Point A6? Colonel? Colonel! Nana, get us some info on point A6.
Coming right up.
What is it?
Spider, where have you been?
I've been around. What's up?
Listen, everyone! Zero my friend might still be alive. He's...
Another Maverick Hunter? Excellent. We need all the help we can get.
Okay, so where is he?
Displaying point A6 on the monitor now.
From the looks of it, it appears to be heavily fortified.
Let's move out!
Alright, welcome back to Mega Man X Command Mission. Last time, it was another intermission, but people were talking about a mysterious red Reploid, so you probably could have guessed that, indeed, the chapter we're heading into might be featuring our good old friend Zero. Alright, so Nana's gonna say this could be a tough fight, and, she's not entirely wrong. Which we'll see in... Never understood why it did the teleportation animation and then the chapter card. Anyway, yes, we're in... Chapter 5, Maverick Hunters Join Forces. It's a weird looking head until you actually know what that guy is. But if you're just seeing him as a normal humanoid, he's just got a really long back of the head and... Looks like they caught us already. But we haven't gotten into the interior, we're barely in. Nah, trust me, this kind of security system wouldn't happen if we were right here. Much like last time, there's somebody else in this building. That being said, this time it's not me, so don't know what we're running into. It could be X's friend. And I mean, we're going here no matter what, so trap or no, we gotta get started. Right, so here's our gimmick for the first half, I'd say, of Chapter 5, Ulfat Factory. So yes, we've got a bit of a game of red light, green light. Also, Massimo's so good. That security system's no problem. Oh god, I almost walked during that. That was a close one. So yes, once this thing beeps 3 times, then the room will flash red, and all the helicopters will fly around the room. I say all of the helicopters, there's only one in this room, but, I mean, I've kind of already given away that there's going to be more than one room. Alright, so yeah, this is pretty much just most of how our time's gonna be spent for this. Oh, and do be wary of where they actually land. This is a game of red light, green light, but these are physical objects, and if they end their movement over you, that also counts as them catching you. So yeah, as you might assume, the penalty for losing or having one of them fall on you is you get into a fight. Now thankfully, I don't think there are any random battles when you're in these rooms. Either that, or I'm getting insanely lucky, but I'm fairly certain it's just a case of you can't actually get a random battle in here. But when we move into a regular room, it's always a possibility. Yeah, see, now we're just in a regular old furnace room, complete with a guy we can pick up. Rush Loader? Oh my god. Okay. X, this was the dog of one of your ancestors. He was a very good dog. Very powerful, too. Could turn into a lot of different things, including a spaceship. Alright, so I got that guy, got some items, and now we have a random battle. Alright, so what do we got? So, here in Chapter 5, I'm gonna be playing a little more defensively this time. We don't have anybody who's a particularly defensive powerhouse, per se. Closest thing we have to it is Massimo, but that's more for his HP value. But given his multiple elemental weaknesses, it's not suggested that you necessarily use him for tanking, especially in this situation. Cinnamon's still weak. Especially in this situation, where there's gonna be a whole lot of elements being thrown around. As you might imagine, this guy is fire element, which does mean he has an elemental weakness. We've hit him with a water attack, which means he can't actually use one of his stronger abilities. We've hit him with virus, so he's been poisoned. And now we get to check out Cinnamon's action command. So yeah, action trigger for Cinnamon is rotating the stick for healing. So yeah, remember Mario Party? It's this. Right, so this one isn't gonna be so good. At the moment, we are able to charge Cinnamon's healing up to a level of 4, so either the time limit will run out, or you will hit 4 hearts and it'll end automatically, and that is our maximum value of healing for now. It wasn't terrible for doing so badly at that minigame, but you can do better than that, and honestly, probably would have been a slightly better use of my sub-tanks at that point. Would have gotten a bit more value for a lot less skin burnt off of my palm. Yes, I am doing that old trick. It hasn't, like, seriously injured me so far. I've not bled from it, but I will say, Cinnamon is actually really tiring to play because of that. So I said I'm playing a little more defensively. I believe oh no, I didn't get caught, good. I believe I mentioned this last time, there isn't like a regular healing item, so my comparison to Dark Souls with the Estus Flasks isn't entirely correct, because it's really more like we have Estus Flasks and then a healing spell on top of that, rather than just, like, tiny heals, but, no, I feel like it's kind of a similar vein of things. But we do have a alternative healing ability. This one does not rely on a resource that can deplete for, you know, an entire dungeon, just from a single battle. Get that out of the way, cool. So yeah, like I said, it's a bit more defensive. We're not putting out quite as much attack power just because, like, Cinnamon's not gonna be our main damage dealer. So, since we have less damage, we're relying more on Cinnamon to sustain us, which seems like an okay idea, especially with all of the things I have equipped to Cinnamon. If you don't all have all of her very good weapon energy recharges, you might not have done the... God, I always want to call them Merc missions, the... explorations, whatever. Sending mechanoids out to do things for you. God, I can't remember words. Yeah, if you don't make it a habit of doing that, and you don't assume there's, like, amazing items, such as the one I got there. Also, yeah, that was me kinda fucking up. It's weirdly stressful. You'd think playing red light, green light would make it easier to read the directions in a walkthrough, but now I just keep getting constantly lost in said walkthrough. Anyway, where was I? I'm like 2 tangents deep. So yeah, if you don't have any special force medals for Cinnamon, you might not have gotten the generator. That means she's probably gonna be a little more, like, straightforward healer, so her use case may be a little more limited at this point in the game. Anyway, as I keep trying to say, right, so, this is a little more defensive, less attack output, but more sustainability, especially with the weapon energy recharges I've equipped. That being said, that's not necessarily the best strategy at all times. Cinnamon might seem like she's OP, and, as long as you have a good strategy, she can definitely keep you alive, which is pretty good in of itself. I'm not going to say it's a bad strategy, but, this is very much a situation where, you know, best defense is a good offense sometimes. You know, it's just the case that, if you do damage, enemies can't do damage to you. That is absolutely something to consider. Chapter 5 is definitely where this game starts to bear its fangs a little bit. I'm not gonna say it's like the hardest RPG of all time, but, if you found the first 4 chapters a little less engaging, this might be what you need to kind of get more into the game. Because it's definitely a little more demanding at this point. We had the enemy earlier who was weak to water, and using water against him actually kind of clipped his wings a little bit, prevented him from using his best attack. But now we have Prions. So, the Prions we've seen before have been kinda garbage. Just even the slightly fancier ones aren't particularly good. The Prions in this chapter actually work as a pretty good grunt force. Like, honestly, they're fairly solid. They all have different abilities and different things you need to look out for. And I wouldn't even call these the guys you need to worry about. Middle guy will obviously, boost characters, of course. He did use a, speed increase earlier, and he can heal. I believe specifically this is a medic. But yeah, no, these guys are pretty tough. You definitely want to take them out first. I don't believe the gunners have ever given me a particular problem. They do damage. And you know, that's rapid fire, so that's fishing for a bunch of hits. I can attack the party. It's all low damage though, so I don't really think it's something you have to worry about exactly. Like, even Cinnamon at this point is pretty good at just fixing whatever they dish out. So yeah, now that we've gotten rid of the guy who can actually heal and give boosts, yeah, we're good for the rest of this. These guys can't really do much. Right, so let's try to do this a little better. So I don't know which stick you use for the GameCube version, but for the PS2 version, it is definitely the right stick that you have to turn around. Rotate, rather, that's the word. That's 310 HP for Cinnamon. Not terrible, especially considering what they're kind of dealing. We can definitely keep up with these guys. And their HP isn't that good either. They simply don't have anything particularly fancy that's gonna do much to us. So yeah, while Prions are definitely tougher, you don't have to worry about these guys. Medics, yeah, definitely pay attention to them. They are, if not tough, then very annoying. Okay, yeah, we've got 2 turns before you go. Didn't even get a final strike on ya. Didn't even need one. Ah, no level ups, darn. Well, Cinnamon should be catching up pretty quickly. Aw, we can't fix this Einhammer. He lost his lucky ball and chain, and now she's 4 years gone. Also, the game's pretty nice, and even though I'm technically in a room with red light, green light going, it didn't actually start counting them. Which I appreciate. They very easily could have just said, yeah, get hit with red light, green light, nerd. Yeah, you know, these few centimeters you can step into the room still count, and oh hey, look who it is! It's our good old friend the devil. You know, from Bible. So as you might imagine, this guy is definitely a, fire element character. And he auto-heals. Does okay damage, but Cinnamon can absolutely keep up with this. He's weak to water. And he did out-and-out block the, virus status as well. Which I don't care for. But we also blew him up, so, whatever. Cool to see one of those guys here, and since this isn't a platformer, I'm not annoyed. Like, yeah, I just shot him to death normally. I didn't have to keep up a, you know, obviously repetitive, indistinct pattern. Doesn't stop me from disliking the patterns, though. Oh, come on, I could've gone. Yeah, you probably want to keep moving. Probably should have healed before this. Give Cinnamon a little bit of a break. Oh darn. So yeah, like I said, security system can land on top of you, and if it does, it'll still say motion detected, which is technically incorrect, I wasn't moving. But yeah, you get this party again, which isn't really a huge deal. But it's a fight you didn't have to get into, so I don't like having gotten into it. So while we're going with this, one of the only concept arts I did not bring up in the previous episode, well, not previous episode, but, the end of Chapter 4, rather, was the one for Cinnamon. So yeah, never actually mentioned her. So here it is right now. So, the main thing I want to point out that, you might not have noticed that it doesn't get brought up in the story specifically, but like, her hair is actually animated with her. You can kinda see how that's been going in cutscenes. Given the way this game works, though, it's not really something you witness a lot. Like, if this were an anime or something, that hair would be all over the place. Like, that would be a constant thing you would absolutely notice, but... yeah, like, they flap a whole lot. You can kinda see it here, too, like, she's concentrating on doing healing, so her hair's just flapping constantly. It is a cute little detail, and I appreciate that they mentioned that. Again, this game doesn't exactly have the most cutscenes, so... I don't know, you could very likely have missed that little detail. You might not be paying attention to her hair in cutscenes, but... yeah, that hair does just kinda go. So yeah, that is the only one I haven't mentioned so far, more or less. Did mention, Dr. Psyche. Well, to be fair, I did actually cut out part of Dr. Psyche's. The one that specifically mentions Mad Nautilus, because I didn't want to spoil the fact that he had another form. I think that's pretty cool, it's a neat surprise. While it's more gimmicky than actually difficult, I do think it's a pretty cool wrench to throw into the middle of the game here. Right, so that was annoying. So, let's keep moving. Nothing's breaking our style. That guy's gonna respawn. Oh no. I do not appreciate that. Right, so, gimmick-wise, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of this whole thing, for the obvious reason that it's slow. And also absolutely got me kinda paranoid. I could have kept moving there, but I didn't, because I was worried he would land on me again. Alright, so what do we got next? We've got... more hallways. I mean, we can get into random battles, but we don't have to deal with red light, green light, and here we are in the box room. Yeah, this is just where all the boxes go. But what else might we find in here other than just boxes and build speed?
X! Hey, X! Don't worry. Hey! It's only me. Axel!
An old comrade, is it?
Yeah. But Axel, what are you doing here?
I came to Giga City because I heard my shape-changing ability might have been invented here. I've been searching around for clues, but nothing yet.
Yeah, I heard they used to do a lot of research in this place, back before the rise of the Rebellion Army.
So, they may have been working on Axel's shape-changing ability too.
It's a very specialized area. But I heard of a few other Reploids with the same ability as me.
I see. But with the Rebellion Army around, it's hard to investigate.
Yeah, like I said, not many clues around.
Hey Axel, have you seen Zero around here?
Zero? You mean the Zero?
Yeah, we heard Zero was here and we came to find him.
I haven't come across him yet.
I hope he's okay.
I'm sure he is, don't worry. Zero wouldn't go down without a fight. Come on, I'll help you look.
Alright, here he is. The boy is back. Axel, join the party. This is how you know that I'm not like most people who were Mega Man fans back in the day. I am very excited to see Axel. Alright, so he starts with Axel bullets. He's got a Hunter Missile and a Cracker. And he has a new action trigger, DNA Change, which allows him to take the form of the bosses we fought before. So yeah, while Jango Silverhorn and Mad Nautilus, they actually worked Axel's ability in really well. You might notice, however, that we don't see a hyper mode on him, and that's because, for some reason, his hyper mode is exactly the same as Spider's. He also turns invisible for a short amount of time. So yeah, kind of a weird one, and there's an overlap with some of our party. But his action trigger is absolutely spectacular. Highly recommend. We should be seeing it soon enough, because I'd imagine we'll get a fight soon. We also have the Arrow Buster, which we're not going to want to keep overall, but it's got good stats. A little less defense, but a little more offense. We'll want to keep the Ice Buster, though, just because Water Element is very helpful. But we've got Ice Missile, so at the moment we've got a pretty good replacement. Could start up an old Mechanaloid, but it's not a ball and chain, so can't do anything about the Mechanaloid we've seen before. Okay, here we go. Right, real quick I'd like to mention first, Cinnamon, her action command is... Weapon Energy will give you more time to actually rotate the stick. And just so you know, I think the best way to go about that is to make sure you do full rotations. If you kinda, like, keep it closer to the center, it doesn't really count as a rotation, so you want that thing swinging all the way around. Anyway, Axel's got some pretty good HP starting right off the bat. He's an okay damage dealer. But the main thing is... Oh, are we not doing that just yet? Am I waiting? Come on, we gotta give Axel some time to shine. I'm pretty sure I get it in this video. Oh god, see, I don't think I'm doing full rotations. I think that's the problem. That's okay, I guess. Marino wasn't fully healed, but close enough. Okay, I guess I don't do it for this fight.
Next!
I gotta do it soon, though, because his action command is actually really good. It is both really interesting and also just plain useful in battle. Oh, and before I forget, so much like with the rest of the familiar Maverick Hunters, they did keep Axel's voice actor from X8. And as a reminder, he's voiced by Jeffrey Watson. Figured I'd just drop that there. Okay, so... now I should definitely show off Axel's action trigger, right? We're gonna get rid of that guy, because it's easy enough. We're gonna boost everybody else's weapon energy gain. And now I've got a heal in the tank just in case. Also, that boost power is probably one of the more dangerous things the medic can do. Has a lot of damage to Cinnamon, but to be fair, she's not got a lot of HP anyway. She is made of tissue paper, which makes sense, she is the healer. And it's not D&D, so... it's like your typical, you know, video game cleric, not your tabletop cleric. She cannot really take hits. Though she is good with elements. Okay, so... action trigger! So this is actually a lot easier than it looks. You just have to match the buttons to whatever DNA you want to use. and depending on the ability you use, I'm pretty sure all of the bosses just use, like, their signature attack, more or less, so... Wild Django is a single-target electric attack, which is pretty darn good. So the thing about Axel is, his weapon energy is, once again, used to make it easier to... or it gives you more time to actually select a DNA, thus making it a little bit easier. But unlike most characters, I actually think it's really oh right, they surrender. I forgot about that. I actually find Axel's action command, or action... I keep calling it action command, darn it, Mario. But yeah, I actually find it even at its, like, lowest energy possible to actually utilize it. I think I still get enough time to actually choose something really quickly. Like, those aren't the same button sequences every time, but even at, like, 50%, it's pretty easy to actually get what you want without panicking too much. I mean, obviously, some people might think otherwise. Also, I'm really wasting those tank energies. Some people might disagree, of course, but for me personally, I think it's really easy to pull off. Anyway, that's it for the episode. See you next time for more of this factory.